Hello everybody and welcome to week 5 of the Falinks Draft League Season 7. Very quick intro this time because we're just about to play. We're playing against the Celadon Clefable. Their team is Kyogre, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, Basket Legion Male, Weezing Galar, Ho-Oh, Thundurus, Therian, Kilowattrel, Overqwil, Breloom, and Electric Hisui. If you've seen ENC, this will seem pretty similar to my team because it's a Kyogre rain team. Notably, they used to actually have Archaladon here like I did. They dropped it for Ogerpon, which some players said was a good trade. I actually think it was pretty bad. I think Archaladon is incredible. This team, I will say, does not synergize the best with Archaladon, because you do have, obviously you're gonna have Overqwil because Overqwil's great on rain, but you did, although the Weezing actually was also not originally there, it was picked up later, but adding ground weaknesses is not necessarily amazing. And this team, it does have good electric coverage, so the electric shot's not super necessary, but I think Archaladon is still really good. Even though I think it is a less good rain team than the one I drafted, rain teams are just still generally very good, so I am still quite afraid of the team. We can hop right into what I've done. We're starting off with a Scarf Miraidon. The reason I've decided to do Scarf is because I think some of the fastest threats on this team, Scarf Kyogre, Basket Legion under Swift Swim, and Overqwil under Swift Swim, as well as Electrode, all faster than base Miraidon. So Scarf lets me get faster than all of those, which is really good. I can just destroy stuff. There are two electric immunities, so I have to be careful, but they're both weak to rock, so I've teched on Power Gem for that. Draco Meteor, just because you can hit a huge nuke. Also, this is not valid for this week. This is a Volcanion for my week. Can nuke something. Terra Electric, I figured, I'm actually not hit for super effective by like anything on this team. So, I mean, the only thing would be ice moves from some of the water types. So I figured, go Electric. There's not really a ground type here that I'm worried about. Pretty good. Boosts my damage a lot. This was originally a Focus Sash because I know I want this guy to live a hit because it is slower than stuff like Basket Legion and, not Scarf Kyogre, but Basket Legion and Overqwil are faster than it under Swift Swim. By 1.2, that's something that I utilized when I played Colin, that Basket Legion is faster than this guy by 1 point. But I have a Terra Grass to live any hit from, even like Terra Water, Basket Legion, Choice Band, Helping Hand, Wave Crash. But I also have an Electric Seed. Originally it was Sash, but then I actually couldn't think of a 6th Mon, so I just figured, you know what? I'll just put one of my bad guys on rain. Like, the last remaining guys, Gyarados, there's triple electrics on this team. Moltres, there's triple electrics, and it's a rain team. Azelf just, slower and doesn't hit as hard as Miraidon, so I don't really need that. That was my backup choice. Florges just worse than Arboliva here. I decided to do trades just because, the coverage is pretty good here. And with the Sash, the defensive typing doesn't matter. So I did Stellar with some coverage moves that are pretty good into this team. Back to this guy. He's more support. The Tailwind is nice, and the Snarl's pretty good into all the special attackers. And he'll live any hit with the combination of Electric Seed and Defensive Terra Grass. Any hit from anybody faster than him, I should note, because the Kyogre could kill me with, like, a Choice Specs Ice Beam, but that's slower than me, so I'm guaranteed at least a Tailwind. Now, we get into the actual, like, main plan that I have for this team, which is Trick Room with these three, and then Scarf Miraidon in the back. We can start with the setter, which is Necrozma Dawn Wings. Terra Dark is for Overqwil. I have Photon Geyser and Earth Power Trick Room. I only really need Photon Geyser. This team doesn't have a Psychic Resist aside from Overqwil, so, Earth Power hits that for super effective. I thought about Moongeist Beam for, like, Basket Legion, but I think I'd rather have Protect. Shit ton of special defense with a Utility Umbrella that should let me live, most water attacks. And then, set Trick Room, yeah. We got Iron Hands. This is a very basic Iron Hands. Drain Punch, Wild Charge, Ice Punch, Fake Out. Again, I did want the Ice Punch because of these two Electric Flyings, which resist both Fighting and Electric, with their Volt Absorb abilities. So I put Ice Punch for them. I also hit stuff like Breloom and Ogerpon for super effective. Oh, Ogerpon's already hit by my Fighting attack. And then Fake Out to help me set up that Trick Room. I'll Fake Out whatever the bigger threat is, and then set it up with this. And then Arboliva is just a slow special attacker for the Trick Room. Harvest Citrus Berries to not, change my electric terrain. Giga Drain, Earth Power, Pollen Puff can actually heal up some of these really bulky guys. I think these three alone, I think probably win me the game. And then this in the back to clean up is pretty good. And I do also have a mode with this and then like those two and then probably hands. So I think it's pretty good. Like I said, we're getting into it. So I'm going to wrap up the team building here. This is probably the shortest builder I've done for FDL, but that's okay. If it's shit, I can go into it later, but I like to do the team builders before to not, have prior knowledge about how the match went. So we'll hop right into it. All right, so Ogerpon, Basket Legion, Overqwil, Weezing, Thundurus, and Kyogre. So she went ahead and sent me her Terra types early. Ogerpon's Rock, obviously, Basket Legion's Ground, Overqwil's Ground, Weezing's Ground, Thundurus is Fairy, and Kyogre's Ground. So she has totally spec'd, like, real hard in for the Miraidon. So I'm very comfortable doing Trick Room. I don't need my abilities, so the Weezing's really not that much of a problem. And then I do still think this is the correct choice to bring in the back. Let me just think. Yeah, I just have to be careful about what Terra's. Hopefully she'll have to use one early. And then I can just Electro Drift for free. But if she still has one by the time Trick Room's over, then that could be a problem. I think I probably just do one Draco and hopefully have taken 3 KOs in the turns that I have. Terragron's great for Arbolova. It means that, like, Bascule Legion in particular cannot get rid of its grass weakness. Moongeist Beam would have been nice for the Bascule Legion, but that's it. Like, and Bascule Legion is also KO'd by, like, a lot of things. Because I have Miraidon. Arbolova is actually great into Bascule Legion because it has, you know, water and ghost moves, right? So the grass normal type is just great into that. Alright. Let's see what we got. Alright. That's great. Alright. Grizzle, of course. Alright. Let's Trick Room. And let's fake out Quill Smith. Not Terra Ghost. Covert Cloak would smoke me. Maybe I should have Terra'd defensively, but I think I'm better off not. I think I'd rather save it for later. I do just get smoked if it's not. Actually, maybe I live, because it wouldn't have Life Orb damage. Necrozma. It's a roll, 60%. Alright. Defensive Terra on one of them. Makes sense that that's the one to Terra. Alright, let's see Kyogre. Let's use Scarf. Okay. Ice Punches. Yep, flinch, nice. Origin Pulse. Okay. Ice Punch is doing half. And then, what about Necrozma? Photon Geyser is that, okay. I think we have to Earth Power that. And Ice Punch that. That is a lot of damage. This could be Specs, Kyogre. It's close to Specs, actually. Showed Origin. I wish I could see my HP in this little mid area. Yep, half. Earth Power, that's one for Necrozma. Origin again. I don't think that's Specs. That's leftovers. Yeah, okay. Hands. Yep. Yeah, Specs would do more than half to hands. I should have looked at the hands calc. I think it was just a high roll in Necrozma. That guy comes in. The Photon guys are it. Actually, does Ice Punch kill Tornadus? %70% in electric terrain, 210%, or no, 90%, my bad. Maybe Protect? Nah, let's double this one. No, I think Protect is still better. I think this is good. Because I do not want Miraidon in under my own Trick Room. Nice, yes, that's exactly why I did that. I thought that Kyogre would protect when it showed leftovers damage, or leftovers healing. Oh my god, I'm so sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. Well, now I'm totally gonna play it around that, though. Two for Necrozma. Still frozen. Should have one turn of Trick Room left. HRT. I think that probably protects, so I'll just kill the Thundurus. Okay, it did not. He wants attention. I've been gone like all weekend. Okay, it's a lot of damage. It's one for Ogerpon. Good thing to see play rough. Ogerpon Cornerstone from Necrozma. Rain stops, Trick Room should wear off too. Yeah, that's like no bulk. We'll bring in this. She shouldn't be able to get any information about this because I'm already faster than it naturally. And I'll just do that since that's the most obvious move. And it's got one, and Miraidon gets one. Alright, that's game one. And we saw play rough from Ogerpon. Play again. Same team. Okay. I don't see how she beats this, so I'm just gonna do this again. Because the Basculegions' only move should be, like, it doesn't get a move that isn't Last Respects. The Last Respects would kill me if I don't Terra Dark, but I do have the ability to Terra Dark. And then Wave Crash doesn't get boosted because of my Utility Umbrella. Yeah, I think this is it. I do expect Basculegion, actually. Yeah, hi, I know you want attention. I'll give you some after the game's done. Hi, little kitty. Jupiter Quillsmith. Alright. I mean, I have to fake out the, the Overquill. If Thundurus has Taunt, I'm in a world of hurt, but these guys usually don't carry Taunt. And my team seems like super hyper offensive at first, so I don't really expect a Taunt from Thundurus Therian. Well, I don't know. It does have some empty move slots. Alright, Terra, immediately. Alright, it's going Terra Fairy. Oh, it's probably Terra Blast into my... Well, not this turn, but it could be Terra Blast for my hands later on. Because that definitely needs a way to hit Miraidon. That's one of the big problems that doesn't hit Miraidon. Alright. So you are taking that. Yep, Terra Blast into hands. But Trick Room's going out. Oh, into Necrozma. Is this Specs? I can figure that out. It's a very easy damage calc to do. Thundurus, Therian, Terra Fairy, Terra Blast into Necrozma Dawnwings. Choice Specs. Yes, I think that has to be Specs. Okay. We will Earth Power that. And we will... Ooh, that's actually kind of a problem. Kitty Cat, stop it. This is a problem. This Overquill has not protected once, but I don't know if that means that it doesn't have Protect, so I still have to cover for it with Earthpower. I really do think it protects, but just the fact that it hasn't done it yet. Okay, this is good, this is good. Good chip. Kitty Cat, stop it, please. That's another one for Necrozma. 3. Air Blast, hit my hands, please. Nice. Okay, we're good. We're fine. We're fine. Because something fast has to come in. Terra Blast. It's Specs. How does Photon Geyser... Photon Geyser is 76% to this? It's not bulky. HRT comes in. We'll Photon Geyser you, and we will Drain Punch you. Get my HP back. I do expect Spiky Shield, but it didn't show it last game. But I guess it didn't gain that much by Spiky Shielding last game, other than stalling up Trick Room. Or, I think Trick Room may have already ended. No, Hands died on the last turn of Trick Room. I really am very surprised that Photon Geyser, which is neutral, is doing 76 to 80% to Thundurus. Alright, whoever comes in is taking a Photon Geyser. Kyogre, taking Photon Geyser. $30. Yep. Ivy Cudgel. Oof, a crit. Shiesty. How many turns Trick Room? 2 or just 1? 2. Perfect. This is beautiful. We will Photon Geyser that and Wild Charge that. Follow Me would be bad here. That's like the worst case scenario, but we still get a Photon Geyser on Kyogre, so how upset can you be with a Photon Geyser on Kyogre? Nope. That's one for hands. And that's one for Necrozma. And we'll just do this. I could start taking self-KOs, but that feels kind of BM. I don't want to do that. It's a KO for Necrozma, for 5 for Necrozma. And that is a GG. And I'll say sorry about the freeze game 1. Well, that's another victory for the hidden Trick Room mode that nobody expects. Yeah, like, this team is just really fast. So I think Trick Room, there's really not that much. You'd have to, like, have prepped for it, right? With something like Taunt on 2 guys to prevent, like, whichever one I don't fake out. Or you'd have to have Covert Cloak on Overquill, which I would have gotten smoked by game 1, but I figured, you know, the combination of Taunt and the Covert Cloak is just pretty unlikely. And that's something that I would have fallen for in the past. I would have committed my Terror there. I don't think I ended up needing it elsewhere in game 1, but in the past I would have defensively Terrored and just wasted a resource when I could just play better in games 2 and 3 with the information that I gained. Anyway, that's it for this week. Stay tuned for next week. I actually don't know who we're playing because I literally just walked home like right before this match. So let's take a look actually. Week 6, we are playing against the Charlevoix Crobats. So that is pretty exciting. It's the Calyrex Ice Rider team, which also has Necrozma, or not Necrozma, Kyurem White, which is just sort of, it's like a sort of snow sand hybrid. So it's pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.